A little bit of an advantage here. He wants to make sure that they can get the vision, and the hook lands.
It does. It's going to go on the tilt. He's in a lot of trouble. Can he get it? He's going to flash. He's fine for now. We're going to see the calling come out for switching, but it's not going to matter. He dashes out. We do see that Dorjan gets hurt. Loki does see a lot of trouble. Tilted did fall at the end, but the ultimate came out, and it looks like Harry X is going to get himself a kill. No, Loki doesn't actually survive.
Fruition. And now he's going in.
Tilt the flash. He gets caught down. Nurse is going to try to use any kind of barrier that she can get, but it's not going to be enough. The Justified does knock up Hero, and they're looking for the fight here. Nurse trying to get out of their stone gates. Would use flash from Hero, but they're going to get one. They're going to look for the other. There's a chilling fight. Hero's going to get down. Double kill going over to Loki Dosi.
Bit of extra vision.
Ultimate to use. Yeah, it's going to hit on the cape, but he's going to be fine. Use the quickness and the granite. Just gets a 3-man charm so far. Mango getting super low, but it doesn't look like any more fights going to happen. Toad's going in. Drops trying to get the buff on himself, but he's going to snare up Indigo, but does not matter. The Impale's going to be cleansed away. And now the fight's going to go in, and that's going to be 1 kill going over the side of Cetra. That's 3 kills on the side of Cetra. No one's going to go down. They're trying to make something happen. Doesn't matter. It's going to be a clean ace for Cetra.
And essentially how they're playing this.
They're going in, looking for the fight. There's the Vanguard's dead. They're trying to kill. Oh no, but they're not able to get him. The taunt comes out. Sundillian's going to flash forward. He does freeze him up. He's going to use the Zoe as the heroic entrance is there. You see the J pop there hard. He might be able to be taken down. Finally, he is. This might be the fight they want. Moody's in there. He's using Cloud Gems. There's the stopwatch being used. Frieden's going to fall. Oh no, looks to be the next target. Meanwhile, we got Cerberus trying to push. He's doing what Tanzoni did last game. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Nightfall Champions League as we get into this off day of a series. Recon 5 and Polar Ace Academy are going to be playing against each other tonight. Due to, I guess, schedule conflicts in their personal lives, we have moved it to today. Not a big issue for any of us. That just gives us more League of Legends spread out throughout the week. As always, I will be your host. You can call me Gaikin. Joining me, as usual, will be Zaw Knight. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling a little bit better, man, and I'm ready for this match between Recon 5 and Polar Ace.
I definitely am too. We'll have to see if Hanzo's word holds up to what he said last night. I don't know if you watched the stream or the series.
I did, yeah, I did. Hanzo's pretty ready, you know? He's ready to go, and Juju needs to be prepared.
He thinks they're going to be able to take it 2-0 very easily. But with that said, the players are in the lobby. We should be getting set up on this draft very, very shortly. What do you think's going to happen? Do you think the Riven's going to be able to come out? Because every other team seems to let people's comfort picks come through. The Riven's the only one we consistently see taken away.
Yeah, you know, with how Tanzo plays, I think Polar Ace is going to ban out the Riven because there's a lot of players who do really well on their champions, but there's just something about Tanzo that is just a step up from other players, and that is just because of his micro play on that champion. Riven's one of those champions that if you can master her, it can be a total dominant lane for her and then like snowball throughout the rest of the game. So I definitely think Polar Ace is going to have to ban out the Riven if they want to go against Tanzo.
Yeah, it's going to come. Maybe one day we'll be able to see it in the champions. But we should be getting started soon. Like I said, they're in the lobby. We're just waiting for the R's, the readies. I'm feeling good about tonight. I mean, there's really not much to say. We get a little bit of a recap throughout the rest of the week, though. Fruition did take their series 2-0. Excuse me. Over Cetra Game, or no, it's not Cetra Game. Over Essentia Gaming. Then Lakeside was able to beat Schism Esports, and then Impulse Ghosting was able to take the victory over Cetra Game. So we'll have to see if the pattern does keep up. It looks like once a week we get a 2-1 and the rest are 2. The other is a 2.
Yeah, a little bit of a back and forth bounce between each week. But, you know, it really does show you who the strong teams are and who are not. Because when you see these games where it becomes... or at least the series goes into a third match, it kind of shows you that those two teams are on a similar level. And then once you get the games where they just have a dominant or a 2-0, that's where you know that team's ahead. Maybe there is a 2-0, but it was really close. So then it's like, so this team is better, but they still are pretty close with that team. So based off of what we've seen, Fruition is at the top. You've got Recon 5 at the top. And you know, surprisingly enough, a team that I thought was actually going to be lower, and I think a lot of us did, which was Lakeside. There's a couple of games now that Lakeside has really proven us wrong in these standings early on. And Lakeside has kind of just put themselves higher and higher in the league.
Yeah, they're definitely coming out to be a surprise. And like you said, Fruition and Recon 5 are definitely the top two teams at the moment. But we still got many weeks to come. Things could definitely change, whether it be maybe a slight roster change or a playstyle change. I mean, as we get into the week, players are practicing. So they could be practicing against specific teams now, knowing that what they got to go against. And like you said, Lakeside has kind of shown up. I think the team that's kind of shown up for me a little bit was Impulse Ghosting yesterday. They took the 2-0 over Cetra. In the early game of the first match, it was very favored for Cetra Gaming. I mean, me and Tanzo both thought they won it, and they held off until that late game point where their Corky and the Varus came online, and they were able just to take the team fight so well. I do think that Cetra had some bit of not misplays but placement issues. They weren't really positioning themselves at the most optimal times. Jarvan kind of used some weird cataclysms trying to catch out this the Braum, and he was just able to use the stand behind me to get out. So it was odd, maybe trying to, worried that they were on that losing path because it got to that late game. They're just trying to make something happen. But the second game, it was really close, and Cetra should have took the late game, but impulse ghosting, they were able to hold on, and they just kept winning through every fight they got. And then it just took one I say odd positioning by your nurse, but it was a good positioning overall. The rest of the enemy team ran after that Baron, ran right up to him. He chunked the Syndra pretty much to dead, and they were able to take the fight after that. So that's what won them the game. So they definitely have shown a lot of improvement as far as this series goes, or this season goes, I should say. I'm definitely looking forward to their future games to come.
Yeah, and right now both teams are in pick and ban phase. It has begun for this series. We've seen a couple of bans already come out here. In just a second, you should be able to see it pop up for yourself. And looking at these bans, a lot of these bans are really targeted bans. And the reason why I say that is because you don't see the Talia very often in tournament play, the Nidalee, the Riven. You see more of that Lucian, Vlad, and Zoe, so it's kind of like a balance between them. It's a 3-3, and I kind of like that. It kind of gives an opportunity for their team to still pick something that's strong in the meta, but also at the same time take out the enemy's strong point if they, or take out the enemy's strong point that's not a meta champion.
Yeah, it definitely shows that these teams are doing research as well. They're paying attention to what their opponents are playing. Like you said, the moody Nidalee is definitely not something you want to let through. Obviously, Tanzo's Riven, as we discussed many weeks now. Zoe going to be taken out. The Talia is going to be taken away. A lot of these things that you won't see a whole lot of on a regular basis. They're coming out more and more in the Champions League alone. But we do see an Aurelia pickup, which I do believe is going to be very strong. We have the Caitlyn Morgana for Recon 5. Such a strong combo in that bot lane. The Dark Binding and Trap combo just does so much damage, and it's hard for a person to recover after that.
Oh, are we? Wait, we talked about this on the podcast, didn't we?
I wasn't there.
I thought I saw you in the chat. I'm sorry.
I was, but I think I was doing dishes and cooking at the same time, and then my daughter wanted me to put on the Baby Shark song, so I did that, and yeah.
Hey, good father. He was talking about how Jhin is not this meta champion that they can really grab onto, and he's really strong with it, but he doesn't feel confident going up against these other meta champs like the Lucian, the Twitch, the Tristana, all these really hard carried champions. And with Jhin being picked up early by Jack, who is very prominent on that pick, that means their Polar Ace is probably going to look for a Corki mid. They're going to have to look for a secondary 80 carry source, either in the mid lane or in the jungle with a Kindred.
Yeah, sadly, Corki's not even an ADC anymore. He's like 90% magic damage with the way they changed his passive to 80-20. But I do say, I mean, Corki would be really strong in the mid lane. He's shown such great prowess throughout this entire Champions League. A lot of the teams are starting to pick him up. He has such good damage, such good sustain, and he's a safe champion to play into pretty much anyone at this point. But you're going to see the
for sure.
Zac is going to be banned away. Definitely get Bishan off one of his comforts. But the Evelynn is still left open. We'll have to see if they do lock that in.
Yeah, and this Urgot could possibly go jungle. So Polar Ace focusing on Tanzo right now is definitely the wise way to go, as Recon 5's best player still has an opportunity to pick a top laner and move that Urgot into the jungle instead. So Polar Ace right now just making sure that Tanzo has less and less of a champion pool that he can look for. The Riven, the Fiora being banned out. You already see the Jarvan, the Vladimir, something else. And Polar Ace could be looking for another top laner. And no, they're actually going to look for the mid laner, so they're going to ban out Ahri here, so Sindillion can't pick that up.
Interesting. Still kind of surprised on that Fiora pick. It's not something I've seen Tanzo play almost at all ever. I know with the new Conqueror, it's pretty strong. And going into the Aurelia, I think it's pretty okay. I might be wrong here, but I think it's a decent pick into the Aurelia, the Ripbots. does very well against her own stun or even the Vanguard's edge. But Kha'Zix is going to be locked in. That means that Urgot is top lane.
Yeah, and we've seen Urgot be that dominant force in the top lane. And Hecarim is still open. Hecarim is one of those champs that can really be kind of that frontline bruiser that your team needs. And also, he can dominate the lane against Urgot. Urgot has gained a little bit more damage with that Conqueror and his W being infinite at level, I believe, 7 or 8. But at the same time, Hecarim is just such a strong pick in the top lane right now with that Conqueror, and also being buffed this recent patch with his W just makes him more of a threat to go against this Urgot.
Yeah, the Hecarim would be interesting. That would put it really mid, but it's going to be Cassiopeia locked in. I like it, honestly. I think it's very strong with their lineup they have now.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I think if they did go for that Hecarim, it would have been great against the Urgot, but they really needed the AP source or any kind of damage from the AP source, and Cassiopeia will definitely give you that throughout the game.
That leads us to wonder, what is Recon 5 going to pick for the mid lane? LeBlanc. All right. I like it. It allows you to trade with the Cassiopeia. You're able to dodge the Noxus blasts.
All right. Well, I messed up. The LeBlanc's not. It's not LeBlanc.
It's not LeBlanc.
All right.
It is.
So I was 3 seconds short. It is actually the Malzahar. Sandillion is going to be grabbing the Malzahar for himself.
All right. So Malzahar is going to be picked up.
All right, just everyone in chat, picture Malzahar, put it over LeBlanc. Thank you. We all make mistakes here. Okay, looking at the side of Polar Ace. Honestly, after they grabbed the Cassiopeia for Hey They're Losers, definitely a team comp that I really like here, because Cassiopeia is one of those champions that we kind of talked about how Jhin needs another source of that very quick damage and almost kind of burst damage as well. So that's like an AD carry, and Cassiopeia can fill that spot for them and be a source of AP damage that they need. And then you have the bruiser frontline with Aurelia and Skarner. Well, Skarner not really a bruiser, but Aurelia, and then the huge frontline with Leona Skarner.
Yeah, the Leona Skarner engage is going to be an absolute nightmare for Recon 5. That Solar Flare has such good range and such good area of effect. I mean, even if you don't get the stun, that slow is definitely something to be cautious about. And having a Skarner with that Leona, even if you get hit by that slow, you are going to be chased down. Because you got to imagine, Bashan is going to be taking the Predator on this Skarner, as most Skarners will do. So he's going to run you down if you're not able to get away. But Recon 5, they have the Malzahar shield. If it's up, that can stop that. They have the black shield from the scrim on the Morgana. So, they have some ways to get out of there. Moody will be on the Kha'Zix, so he can just, leap out of the way. 90 caliber net for Paradox, and Hanzo, if he's in the mix, he can dash away himself. So they do have ways to get out of it, but it's still something to be cautious about, because when you use it once, you're not going to have it again, because even if you do get out of that Solar Flare, Bashan's coming right after you.
Yeah, that is very true. And like you were just talking about Recon 5 and their composition, I like the Malzahar pick. It's definitely something that will give them the edge at level 6. Because Cassiopeia, we know, has a strong ultimate if you can land it. But Malzahar has a point-and-click crowd control that locks a champion down. And if you go into a fight where there's not a Leona around and Skarner doesn't have Predator proc and he's ready to go, and you have an extra frontline like the Urgot or the Morgana, it can allow for Malzahar to lock down an enemy, followed up with a Morgana bind, and then she also black shields a Malzahar so he can't get his ult canceled. It's a pretty strong combo, and Recon 5 with the Caitlyn Morgana in the bot lane definitely will be something Jhin and Leona will have to be careful about. And then looking on like Kha'Zix and Urgot, they're all level 6. Except for Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix is level 3, level 4. He gets his power spike. But that Urgot, the Malzahar, they just get so much pick potential at that level 6 with the execution and then the Malzahar ultimate. I think Recon 5 is going to, as soon as they get around 7 minutes, 6 minutes, they're going to start roaming around the map and trying to dominate the game.
Yeah, definitely going to be something that Polar Ace has to be watching for. Because, I mean, Kha'Zix, he's going to look for isolated targets all day. But we got 14 seconds left in the spectator delay. Who do you think's going to win? Quick!
Based on the team compositions, I'm looking at Polar Ace taking this first game.
So am I. They have a really strong comp, and I think they're going to be able to run it down. But the spectator delay is going to be done. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be getting into the first game of tonight's series. Polar Ace taking on Recon 5. Can they give them their first loss, or will Recon be tied with Fruition Premier at the top?
Yeah, you never know. This could be the chance for them to get up there with Fruition, or this could be the chance for Polar Ace to show themselves as one of the top teams and one of the top contenders in this Champions League.
That is true. And in our first match, you do see it on your screen. Polar Ace is going to be on that blue side. Juju on the Aurelia in the top lane. Bashan's going to be on that Skarner in the jungle. Hey There Losers is going to be on that Cassiopeia in the mid lane. We're going to see Jack and Nihilism on that Jhin Leona on the bot side. But on the red side of the map is Recon 5 with Tanzo on the Urgot on the top side. Moody is going to be on that Kha'Zix in the jungle. Sindillion on the Malzahar mid. And then Paradox Scrim on that Caitlyn Morgana in the bot side.
Yeah, we talked about that Caitlyn Morgana in the bot lane. Something that has just been dominating every single game it's been shown. And you know what? I have to give credit to where it's due. And Fruition has been the kind of team to pick up that combo right there and be able to pull it off every single time. So I really want to see Paradox and Scrim be able to pull this off. But at the same time, Jack's on he's on his pocket pick. You got Jhin. All right, teams are going to be setting up just across each other. They're going to try to get a vision in the brush. Caitlyn Morgana actually going to sit in the river here. If any of Polar Ace decides to move on forward, they could look for a bind and trap combination, which would be pretty dirty. But for right now, both sides just trying to make sure that nobody's going to invade, take control of anything. And looks like just going to be a stalemate here.
Sadly, the spectator delay is still messed up. Their update did not fix anything. No, not spectator delay, but the spectator mode. It still doesn't have a targeted frame in the bottom left. Oh, Riot. Oh, Riot.
Things
are coming out. Dark Vion's going to land, though. Nihilism's going to take a lot of damage. Half health already.
Yeah, and that's really good for R5's bot lane there, because now the Leona either has to decide, does she want to recall and get that health back but lose some CS? Or does she want to stay at half health and just wait it out? I think definitely the best idea here is to just wait it out and get your health back a little bit. But because you are now at half health, you're going to have to wait and see if Morgana and Caitlyn are going to do something here. There's
going to be a Dark Bind come through. Nice shot. They have Jack at half health already. Nihilism's walking forward. And they already put both the bot laners for Polar Ace at half life.
Yeah, Recon 5 just playing super aggressive there. And you know, because they realized that they were coming from the red buff, they know Bashan's on the bot side of the map. So Moody can take control of that top side all that he wants without any worry of Bashan. And to be honest, I think that level 1, level 2 advantage there is definitely for Bashan. But as soon as you hit level 3 and level 4, Kha'Zix just starts to dominate a little bit. Cassiopeia doing so much damage to Sindillion right now. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, hit that level 2 spike real quick. Had the Noxus blast down. Able to get the Twin Fangs out. But I mean, you gotta think though, Sindillion did just about as much damage back. So
that is true.
It was a good trade. His is more constant, but there, look at the root. You're gonna see the Zenith Blade come out. There it is, Dark Binding, but the Black Shield's up. Ignite is there, but it looks like First Blood might go to the bot lane, but he's gonna see a flash away from Nihilism. Jack saving his support. But here we go. Moody's on his way down. Paradox has to be careful. Can Moody flash in and get this? You're going to see the Peacemaker use. Flash forward from Scrap. The heal's up. They're looking for it. Paradox is going to flash in the bush. He gets First Blood. Now Jax looks to be the next one to fall. Jack, he has his fourth shot, but he is not going to find the target. And Moody is going to be able to pick up that kill. Meanwhile, the mid lane, hey, they're losers. He's getting really low. We're going to see a pause.
Ooh.
Looks like the support crashed in the middle of the fight. And it looks like... Sindillion is like trying to push him away or something. He's like pushing an invisible wall.
Yeah, and you know, little bit of trouble there with active and very well timed Black Shield by Scrim there to be able to keep himself from being locked down by the Leona. And because of that, they were able to turn it around, and Moody was already there, so then they were able to pick up some free kills for themselves. 2 kills here for the side of R5. 1 kill going over to Moody, 1 kill going over to Paradox. The 2 main carries here, or at least the 2 main carries in the early game.
Oh no,
And
continue. I was just getting right back in.
Go ahead.
Oh, hey there, losers,
Oh,
super
my.
low. Sedalia not able to flash due to the miasma. Definitely well placed by Hey there, losers.
Wow. So Sandillion does. It seems like Hey There Losers does a good amount of burst damage like right away, but then over time Sandillion's just like, all right, here, you know what? Here, take this, and I'll leave. And then suddenly Hey There Losers is at 0 health.
Oh,
Ooh,
Juju get aggressive. Tanzo throws him back. The Conqueror is active. He's doing a lot of damage, but it might not be enough. Corruption potions being used.
Yeah, you know, with some of those nerfs to Echoing Flames, it has become more difficult in the early stages of the game for Urgot to be able to do the damage that you see later on. So right now, Tanzo's got to play it a little bit safer, just get some CS for himself without being poked down too much to where he loses CS or has to back. And later on in the game, Tanzo will be able to do so much for his team with that execution, being at level 6. And so, like we said earlier, R5 definitely very, very soon when they all hit level 6 is going to probably look for some picks and go very, very aggressive with their champions.
Yeah, they definitely have a good comp for it. They have a lot of pick potential, but at the same time, Polar Ace, they have a lot of pick potential too.
That is
they
true,
have a lot
yeah.
of counter engage if you get a little too aggressive. Here we
Ooh,
go.
nice
Juju's
stun.
going forward. Bashan is topside. Tanzo does have his flash if it's going to be needed, but he's going to try to hold on as long as possible. He might just bait somebody in. Juju's going to flash forward after him. He's going to be able to secure the kill. Can he get out of the tower? He will. But Moody, he's making his way top. Could try to look for him, but I don't think he's going to make it in time. Tanzo held his flash a little too long there.
Yeah, I think he probably thought that he could make it out there with no problem, and then being forced to flash out, but still gets taken down by Juju. Juju had a lot of damage there, actually, with the Conquer, and then his Q following it up. But
Moody, look, Moody's on the hunt. You see it on the map. He's on the hunt.
Look at this guy.
Moody wants it.
Oh, you can see on the map, but
oh wait a minute. Xenoblade 4. We can see the Dark Binding come out. Paradox is gonna be taken down. Nihilism gets the kill, and nothing better than an unexpected Xenoblade coming out. Not even the Black Shield able to save him.
Wow, there's a lot of damage there from Leona and Jin. Stun does miss. Moody and Tanzo are there under the turret together. Morgana's by herself in the bot lane. Can you go back to the top lane, please? Directed camera thing. Oh, no, maybe the mid lane, actually.
Sedalia forced to flash over the wall. Halo Lose is going to go after him, but he went the wrong way. Oh, no. Noxus Blast is going to miss. Sedalia is going to run back after him. Miasma is going to be dropped. Gotta be careful. Little Voidlings are after you. Moody's going to make his way mid as well. Oh man, this is an action-packed game, and Polar Ace, they have it so far. Grim's going forward. He's looking for the Dark Binding. It is going to connect this time. This could be very bad, though. He does throw the Ignite down. The active could be taken away, but that's going to cost Grim his life as well. That's going to be a 1-for-1 at the moment. Paradox going to try to fight this. Jack doesn't walk over the trap. He doesn't really have a whole lot of damage yet. He's going to fight into a pickaxe to pick Mr. Ace to use 90 caliber net and a kill. Going over to Paradox.
Very well played there by Paradox. And you know, you saw Scrim walk up, and I kind of realized he was very low on mana. He didn't have enough mana for his Black Shield there, unless he already used it beforehand.
Yeah,
I don't think he used it beforehand, and he thought that he had just enough mana to go for that fight. And because he didn't have that Black Shield, got stunned up by the Leona and then got taken down. He was able to pick up a kill for himself and allow for Paradox to push up the bot lane now and get a little bit more gold for himself. But still, at the same time, that's unfortunate, you know, when you're playing and you're like, oh, I got this. You hit the bind, you got the W down, you got Ignite, and then you're like, wait a minute, I don't have mana. And you're just standing there, you can't do anything. So, feels bad for Scrim there, but well played by R5 there.
And kind of odd that Jack tried to fight Paradox. He's down, he was down 2 longswords and a pickaxe. Right in that fight. I don't know how he thought he was going to be able to win. I know, you know, Jin does a lot of damage, especially based on missing health with that 4th shot, but questionable play. He could have just got out of there.
Yeah, and now that Sindelian has hit that level 6, they want to look for this dragon here, and so Sindelian is keeping the lane pressured up so that if there's any possible chance for Polar Ace to make their way over to this dragon, he can easily push it out and make hey their losers either decide to have to lose his CS or try to stay in the mid and keep his CS. And you know, that's you gotta choose. You're gonna lose CS, lose XP, and possibly help out your team, or are you gonna get yourself XP and lose out on a chance of helping out your team towards the dragon? And so, with Sindelian getting higher and higher, and they're all getting level 6 here with the Urgot, getting closer and closer to R5's power spike here.
Yeah, it's so hard to push against the Malzahar. I hate that champion in lane.
And if you look at the bot, oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, even as a Cassiopeia who has pretty okay wave clear with the Noxious Blast, it's still no way to keep up.
Yeah, it can be very difficult. And you know, I'm actually looking at the bot lane right now, but Sean has set himself in that bottom lane brush for a while now. And Moody just popped over. He is spotted by the ward, but Sean is also sitting on a ward as well. I just noticed that because the camera moved on over, but Sean was sitting on a ward that entire time. So Moody and the rest of R5 were able to know where the jungler was, and
he's still sitting there. He's looking for it. The Predator's online. He has flash.
And now Moody's like, you know what? If we're just gonna watch him, I'm just gonna go for Dragon.
Am I gonna back? Am I gonna back? You never know. I'm gonna start it, but I'm gonna end it. That's what Bashan's doing right now. I think he's canceled his back 4 times.
That ward gave R5 the opportunity to go for that dragon. You know, Moody, I bet Moody is laughing right now, just like, what just happened? Like, I got a free dragon because this man is sitting on a ward. Like,
Yeah.
Definitely a hard thing to realize that you're sitting on a ward, but at the same time, Bashan stayed there for quite a long time. And Sindelian with the ultimate could go in onto the cut. Oh, wait.
You see the Shun's might. Oh, nice use of the stone gaze, but is it going to be enough? Hey, the losers will still be taken down. But here's the Predator going to be popped by Bashan. He's going to flash forward. He's looking for Moody. He's not able to get it. Good use of the camouflage. Scrim actually flashes forward, gets the Dark Binding. Sindelian doesn't really have any mana. Could they go under tower? Moody's going to look for it. Ignite is down. He does get out of there. Bashan, he uses the shield. And Scrim almost taken out. And Sindelian's just going to walk forward. And no one can get it. But oh, Juju from behind. That's going to be a double kill going over to the top laner.
Wow.
No one saw that man coming.
You know, okay, I have to give it to Scrim there. That Flash Dark Bind saved Kha'Zix, I believe, sorry, not Kha'Zix, Sindelian the Malzahar from getting pulled in by Bashan, because it canceled out Bashan's ultimate. But then they tried to look for a dive, and the shield from Bashan saved his life. Juju making the wise call there, moving his way down to the mid lane, picks himself up. I believe it was 2 kills there?
Yeah, Juju got 2.
Yeah. Being able to pick up 2 kills for himself, this is huge for Polar Ace, getting their top laner, Aurelia, a lot stronger here in the early part of this game, because, you know, Aurelia really thrives in that mid game, and if you can get her strong in the early game, there's definitely a bonus there with the ultimate on the Caitlyn.
Yeah, Paradox is in a lot of trouble. He's ignited up, going to flash away. The Black Shield is there. He's just going to stand behind Scrim. Very aggressive move. Paradox forced the flash. Didn't use his heal, though. Active, he could look for a Zenith Blade forward. The Black Shield is down. He is. Oh, it doesn't connect. Nice follow-up, though. Jack was waiting for it.
Yeah, Leona Jhin here want to be really aggressive. Darkbind does miss, so they could look for a possible engage. And they know that the Caitlyn and Morgana don't have flash, but they have to be careful because Moody was just spotted on a ward. And also, one thing that Scrim and the rest of R5 could use to their advantage is if they decide to look for something onto the Morgana, she has the stopwatch to save herself for at least a little bit and could totally disrupt Polar Ace's engage. So playing a little bit more aggressive as the Morgana and being able to use that stopwatch to her advantage can make an entire fight or engage by Polar Ace be turned around in an instant.
Yeah. They're going to have to be weary if they try to get aggressive. But, I mean, I like how Nihilism's playing right now. You see at any unexpected moment, he's throwing that Zenith Blade out or even the Solar Flare. He's not letting them get comfortable in this lane whatsoever.
Yeah, he's letting them know that we are something to be feared. And, you know, Jack, later in this game, if he can just keep on scaling up, he does have higher CS count at the very moment against the Caitlyn. And you know, that's definitely something that could be a game changer for them. Jhin having so much damage, and then hey, they're losers with the extra follow-up damage that they need. And now Bashant looking for something once again, but blocked out by a ward.
Yeah, definitely good placement by Scrim and Paradox, putting a ward in that bottom bush. Probably knowing that Bashant's going to try to come from the lane. It's one of the stronger ways to gank with the Skarner. You just flash in, get the unexpected impale.
Yeah, and you know, something else that R5 could use there to use that ward to their advantage is, since it's so deep, and if they decide that they want to pull back a little bit and wait, they can actually have Tanzo teleport down to the bot lane and make a play for them, and then decide to go in on that bot lane turret. And because Moody's on the top side right now, they could look for a play like that pretty soon. But at the same time, R5 is pressuring the bot lane pretty hard, and now R5 has just picked up the Herald for themselves. They have a Dragon, a Herald, and very soon it seems like they're going to get the first turret. So I got to give it to Recon 5 for being able to focus on that objective control.
Yeah, they've done very well. And even though they're getting engaged on left and right by Nihilism with this Leona pick, I mean, they're just continuously pushing up this lane. The tower plates are even though, but it looks like Nihilism might be caught out. Moody's going to walk into the bush. He will be stunned up. Soul Flare is actually going to be dropped right away. We see members moving up. He's able to hop out. Looks like Bashant's going to try to go for him, but he's silenced. Now we're going to see the Stone Gauge come out here. We're going to see Sindillion die in the mid lane, but TP's coming in for Tanzo. He's going to look for hey, they're losers. Or will he? Zen's blade is going to miss. We see the Impale did come through. Now Tanzo, he might just gave his life away. Dark Binding does go down from Scrim. Moody is still alive. Paradox has made his way mid, but here comes Juju. They're going to put a 5-man push in this mid lane. Do they have what it takes, though? Dark Binding's going to land. That is on Nihilism. This could be disastrous. He's taking tower shots. No, Bashant's taking tower shots. Excuse me. And they're trying to disengage. Moody's trying to do as much damage as possible. Since Vanguard's edge is going to come out, but Dark Binding is going to miss. Heal was used by Paradox. No one's dying just yet. But Juju flashed in. He gets a double kill himself. Can he get out, though? He will not. We're going to see Paradox get the shutdown. TP is coming in from Sindillion, though, and the fight's still not done. They're looking for more. The tower still stands for Recon 5.
Oh my goodness. You know, I thought the fight would end there after Tanzo's teleport, and then they just kept on going with it. And I have to give it there, the very, very start of that fight onto the Kazakhs in the jungle, Nihilism has just been the most confident player in this game right now. He's like, I see the enemy, I want to go for him, I'm going to use the solar flare, I'm going to lock him down, and that's exactly what he did, forcing Moody to jump away from the fight. Then they were able to turn onto the Malzahar, and Sindillion, he timed his ultimate to try to hold down the Cassiopeia, but hey, they're losers, turned it around by stunning him at the same time, and now bot lane, R5 trying to push out the bot lane here as they want that first turret blood before mid lane goes down. Kazakhs did use the Herald, so now this is going to be a free first turret for Recon 5.
He's going to ult now. They're going to go. Soul Flare does stop the ult, though, but it's not going to be enough. Tanzo is going to fear up 2 members. Can they get out of this? We see the throw back for Bashant. Bashant's going to go down. Jack on the outside. He's going to snipe nobody.
Yeah, Recon 5 using that to their advantage. They're going to keep on pushing forward. They got the second turret on the bot side now. Aurelia doesn't have teleport, so they can keep on pushing. There's only 2...
Flash from Scrim! Wow. He's looking for it now, looking for the tier 3. They could be going forward even more. Scrim taking tower shots. They're trying to get in there, saving the Rift Herald for now. Paradox, he takes the tower shot. They're looking for the inhib now. The Scrim did throw another Dark Binding, goes wide. Moody's going to go in. He's looking for Jack. He's going to flash out. There's Zen's blade forward. We're going to see the curtain call opened up. Is it enough, though? It doesn't look like it. Can they get out of there? Scrim's going to be taken out. Tanzo tried to block it with his body, but now they go forward. Flash forward from Bashant. He pulls him in. Tanzo, he has to flash himself out. Now Juju's trying to get in there, but he's silenced up, so he's not able to go forward now. They're still pressing on, though, for Polar Ace. They want blood. Yeah,
and Sindillion there actually picked up a kill onto active with his burn. The rest
might run into Moody, though. We're going to see the stun come out. And Moody's going to go forward. This could be disastrous. He's not going to be locked down, though, because he didn't take any damage. Jonzo taking a lot of damage from Hey, they're losers. Twin Fangs are coming out. He's trying to dash away. Is it going to be enough, though? Their Vanguard Dead is going to shut him down. We saw the flash come out. Sindillion, they're still running. Paradox is here. Can try to throw some traps down if needed, but it's going to be just fine for them. They're going to be able to get out with their lives.
Yeah, and Recon 5, since they were able to pick up 3 turrets and an inhibitor on the bottom half of the map, this is huge. Even though they lost most of their players in the end of that fight and that push, it does not matter because now you have a super minion pushing the bot lane for you while you can prioritize the top side of the map with Baron coming up very, very soon and also the top lane turret being very, very low. Now you know that, excuse me, now you know that Juju didn't have his teleport, so pushed up the bot lane, went for that 2v5, and now he still doesn't have his teleport and could put your team on the top side while not having to worry about the bot side whatsoever because they have those super minions and forcing Hey There Losers to go down there because the only AP champ that can go against these super minions is that Cassiopeia.
Yeah, that was a very good push out of Recon 5. Not expected though. I mean, I kind of thought Juju would have backed a lot sooner than he did, knowing that they just took down one or two members of his own team with that Rift Tail. There was no way they were going to stop. They had all 5 members down there.
Yeah, you know, I'm with you on that. I think Polar Ace there was just kind of, I don't know. I think Polar Ace there thought they could hold on to the wave and be able to manage that, but they weren't able to.
There's a Predator for Sean. He's looking for it. He's going to get the impale. They're going to pull him back. He's going to be stunned up once, stunned up twice, stunned up 3 times. Is he ever going to get out of the stuns? No! Jack's going to be on a killing spree now.
Wow, Tanzo there. Tanzo, this is twice now where he's gotten himself caught with that teleport in the mid lane, get himself caught there, and then the Skarner, Bashan being able to drag him back in. Oh, nice solar flare.
Yeah, the fight's going to continue to script. He's in a lot of trouble. TP is coming in. Those Hey There Losers trying to get there. He does use the stopwatch, but it's not going to be enough. He's going to die eventually. But that fight might end there. 5 members are going to be pushing mid for Polar Ace. Baron is going to be up in about a minute.
Yeah, and you know, we talked about this in the... Oh, wait.
You see them on wards. Just stopping back, silence up. Hey There Losers going to have to walk away.
Gaikin, we talked about this earlier on. The reason why you and I agreed on Polar Ace being able to pick up this first game was that team composition, and it really showed right there. With Bashan being able to lock somebody down, active with that solar flare, because if he is able to get the solar flare at least onto 2 players of Recon 5, Morgana can only shield one of them. And if she doesn't shield herself, then she's gonna die. If she doesn't shield her ally, the Caitlyn or the Kazakhs, they're gonna die. And so that follow-up CC, you have all 5 members of Polar Ace being able to bring some kind of crowd control in these fights just to dominate it. And you know, Recon 5 right now is trying their best to like push out the waves, take control of the objectives, which they have done amazing in this game. But Polar Ace with that team comp is just gonna start rolling over this game if they don't get the Kazakhs further and further ahead.
Bashan doesn't have flash or a blast cone, so he's not gonna be able to get over the wall. That was that was a hopeful steal attempt there, but I don't know what he really expected.
Yeah, and now looking at the side of Polar Ace once again, the biggest difference I see is R5 has kind of a mid-game to early-game composition with that Kazakh and with the Malzahar. But then they also can be a dominant force in that mid-game and a little bit in the late game with the Syndillion and Paradox. But if you look, just take a look at Polar Ace for a second. That team is screaming late game. You have Leona, you have Jin, you have Cassiopeia, you have Skarner. That is a huge late game. And oh, wait a minute, Recon 5.
God, Death Bush.
Look at this.
They just gave themselves away with that Dark Binding, though. Predator was used by Bashan. And now they're going in for Jack. He's going to be forced to flash away.
I'm just making sure that you're looking, Dorjan, okay? Just making sure. And now, Recon 5 trying to reset here, get what they can for items. And you know, with the Kazakhs not being as far ahead as he wanted to in this game, he is 2-1-4, which is very strong for him. But at the same time, against a Skarner and against a Cassiopeia, it is very difficult to try to look for that solo kill on the Jack just because of all the protection that he has.
Yeah. I mean, it is going to be so hard for Moody to get into that back line and try to assassinate this bot lane carry. I really don't see an easy way of doing it. Nihilism on that Leona has so much CC just all around. You have 2 stuns, 2 slows. Well, actually, you got 3 stuns if you count the Zenith Blade micro stun. Like, there's just so many ways for Jack to be saved without, without really having to do a whole lot. And the one thing that Kha'Zix thrives off is you being isolated. Well, if Nihilism is there, then you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, the isolation definitely helps for the Kha'Zix, and it seems like he was able to do a little bit in the early game, but now, wait a minute.
Flash forward to Dillian, they're going to see the Ace in the hole come out, and that's going to be Paradox getting the kill on Jack. We thought he was safe, but double TPs are coming in. Who's going to win the fight? Juju's in, he's going to get a one-man stun on Scrim. Scrim's trying to slow down. Nice solar flare though. Stonegate's going to come out and stun 3 of them. There's Vanguard's edge, but it's going to be him taken down anyway. Scrim's still alive in this. Now we're going to see, hey, they're losing, get thrown back. Tanzo gets the kill. Flash forward from Nihilism. He's looking for the kill on Scrim. Can he take him down? Yes, he will fall, but he's going to pay his life for it. And that's going to be a 4 for 2 in favor of Recon 5. Sindillion pulling the trigger on that as well.
Yeah, wow, Sindillion flashing over, and that's exactly what we were talking about and R5 needed to look for, was something onto Jack and to isolate him, and they saw Active was away from Jack, and then they went for the play there. Oh, now
Sean, he's got the impale down on Paradox. The Paradox is fast to flash out. He's going to be taken out, though. 90 caliber is going to shoot up, but Jack, he's doing a lot of damage on this Jhin. He's actually going to use the curtain call right now. Oh, diving again, but Tanzo's here in the mix. And Jack, does he have the damage? No, he didn't have the auto. It was resetting. Oh, no. But they do stop that inhib from being taken in the bot lane. I definitely think that Recon 5 should have just went straight for Baron after that one team fight.
Yeah, and Polar Ace right there, you kind of saw the power that they had with Cassiopeia and Jack. The damage out of those two is quite strong going later into the game. But then at the same time, you saw the kind of fight that Recon 5 could turn around with. Oh, ultimate does go into Kha'Zix.
He's in trouble. Get away? He's going to flash, but this is right after him. Moody, what are you doing, greedy man?
Wow. And now, Paradox, Polar Ace, they took out R5's jungler. They can look for vision control on this Baron, or even go for it themselves because they have the Cassiopeia.
They're doing it. This Baron is going to be shredded.
But the only thing that you have to contest with is the 4 men on the side of Recon 5. You have the Urgon in the front line, and the rest that you can follow up with. Sindillion does have his ultimate. They could look for something, but right now, Polar Ace just trying to burn down this Baron. They know they don't have a smite to contest. And
the flare, and the Vanguard's going to come out, and Scrim's in a lot of trouble. We can see the zone is going. Juju, though, he gets taken down. There's an ultimate coming out to Dillian. That's going to be 2 members dead. Bishan is gone. Now we're going to see Nil's going to get thrown back. He's going to Zenith Blade forward. He's going to save the rest of his team because of that. But that is 3 members dead and 3 Barons gone.
Wow, very well played there by Recon 5, turning that around for themselves. And now they have the Kha'Zix back up. So it is a 4v2 right now. And 2 people have Baron. They can use that to defend the base at the moment, but at the same time, with how R5 is playing this and being able to turn these fights around, they're just dominating. Moody now to jump on in.
He's in a lot of trouble. He does get taken down, but we see Moody fall anyway. Hey, the loser's able to pick that one up. Here, 3 falls. They're looking for the inhib. The range on Caitlyn might be enough, but we see Bishan is up, and they're going to get out of there knowing that Impale is alive and just go for Dragon.
Yeah, R5 now can make their way over to this Dragon, and they have 2 open inhibitors, Polar Ace has 2 open inhibitors that Recon 5 can look for. And because you have Recon's 5 macro playing super well in this game right now, they're able to honestly out macro Polar Ace at this very moment. Polar Ace, they were ahead for a pretty fair amount of time, but because of the macro play that Recon 5 has, they have been been taking objective after objective after objective. And yes, they got caught out every once in a while, but still, in the end, they're going to be 3k gold lead ahead, 4 dragons, and 6 turrets ahead.
Yeah, the kills are very even. So the fights are going in Recon 5's favor for the most part now. But, I mean, Jack, he's getting really strong. He went Static Shiv, which kind of surprising. Yeah, kind of surprising. You definitely would have think the Rapid Fire would have been the first, at least the first energized item he would buy. He has a second Zeal, so he could be going for the Rapid Fire now. Might have bought the Static Shiv just for the wave clear, knowing they're getting pushed in really hard. I mean, it's not a bad item, and the fact that you crit... Ooh, Dark Binding goes a little wide, but the fact that you still crit with it, or with the Lightning Bolt, it's not a terrible thing. Moody's going to be rooted down. Nice jump, though. Dark Binding does land Bashan. He's under tower. Stun is started by Juju. Not going to land on anybody, though. Tanzo, he's coming in from behind. They're going to look for the engage. The Predator is going to be used. You see the Righteous Glory used by Tanzo. He's not able to get in there. They're looking for the fight. Tanzo rooted up. Someone somewhere is going to get caught.
Yeah, and you saw Tanzo there. He used the Righteous Glory to try to go for an engage. And Tanzo has Guardian Angel and QSS, and he has a decent amount of tankiness to his name that he can be that frontline, but also he does a lot of damage for his team. So, very good build there from Tanzo, being able to kind of be that frontline tank, but also be a really good source of damage for your team. And then that Guardian Angel just makes Tanzo on that Urgot go a little bit higher when these team fights break out, because it's going to be very difficult for Polar Ace to try to focus him down first and kind of kite back in a fight, knowing that Tanzo has this Guardian Angel, unless they just, all they can do is pop it and try to back off. But most of the time when these fights break out, at least 2 members of Polar Ace get taken out.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Polar Ace. They're, like I said, they're losing the fights now. They're not able to... They were... For a little bit, they were winning them, I believe. They were coming out 1 kill ahead. Even if it was only 1 kill ahead, they're still winning the fight, whether it was only 1 or 2 fights. But now, like you said, every fight that happens, they're losing... Oh, they moved the crystals.
Yeah, they moved it a little bit with the buff to Skarner.
I just noticed that. Wait, did they move that one too on the blue buff?
I don't believe so.
It doesn't. It looks like it might have moved up a little bit, but that's about it. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well,
I haven't played a game today. I was going to, but then my kids wouldn't stop whining, so I was like, yeah, it's probably not a good idea to try to sit down for 40 minutes.
Yeah, and you know, in patch 9.6, they did the Skarner buffs, and the Skarner buffs allowed for his passive to be moved in a certain spot to where he can then take all 3 kills. Ooh.
Solar Flare by Active, looking for the fight. I mean, all 5 members, if that connected, that would have been a great fight for Polar Ace. There might be something top lane, though. We got Moody waiting in the bush. Dark Binding's going to come out, not hit Active. They're just going to disengage. Maybe? They're looking to push this top lane and let Tanzo split. And they might have found Bashan. They're actually running into him. Tanzo, he's going to get caught out. The Impale's going to be used, but the QSS is there. Zenithblade's going to follow the Blast Cone. But Tanzo, he's trying to go back in. Moody's going to be stunned up. And look at the damage coming out from Hey There Losers. Not able to let Scrim or Paradox go forward at all.
Yeah, and you know, Polar Ace just trying to scale back up into this game and get themselves something at least. Oh, the
Zenithblade forward. There we see the lockdown. Here comes the Curtain Call. And a Solar Flare. And again, it looks like Cedilion's be taken down. Tanzo on the backside. Juju's super low. Scrim, he is low as well. He's going to use that Zodiac. We're going to see the Bashan with the stopwatch. Legendary is Paradox. He kills Juju. Stone gaze forward. And Hey There Losers pointing out the damage. Active trying to get in, but it's not going to matter. And Hey There Losers getting taken down. Paradox, look at the damage. Jack flashes forward. He's able to get one. He's going to get the other. He heals to get away. Is it going to be enough? But no, the ace of the hole is going to come out, and that's going to be a pentakill for Paradox.
What just happened? Okay. Well, it looks like Recon 5 is just gonna end out this game with the Tanzo and Paradox ending this game with a pentakill for his team.
First one of Champions.
Yeah, the first pentakill in the Champions League here, going over to Recon 5. Recon 5 are gonna be able to pick up game 1 in this series between Polar Ace.
There it is, GG's. Recon 5, it looked really good for Polar Ace too in that engage. That looked really strong for their engage. I mean, they caught out Sindelian. He had no shield on, and they had the good solar flare. They killed Sindelian right off the bat. They should have killed Scrim right off the bat too. He was able to use that Zonias, and Paradox was left untouched. Juju tried to get in the back line, and it didn't work. And I mean, you saw it there's a pentakill coming from. I didn't even see the triple or quadra pop up at all, and all of a sudden you just see a pentakill. But I mean, congratulations, Recon 5. They take game 1, and what a way to end it. Pentakill on Paradox.
Yeah, the game looked a little bit kind of lopsided for a while. It kind of looked like it could go in the side of Recon 5 and then could go for Polar A's. But in the end, you really have to take a look, at least in this game, Recon 5's macro play versus Polar Ace's macro play. And Recon 5 is just a lot higher in that aspect right now. And then I feel like they just didn't really, Polar Ace didn't really get that lead that they wanted in the early game to give them an advantage with that Jhin and Cassiopeia pick. And a lot of their kills went over to the Aurelia, and Aurelia was not able to even get close to the back line of R5 at all because of the Morgana, because of the Urgot, and then also because of Malzahar's ultimate locking her down. So it became very difficult for them to do anything, but in the end, R5 picks up the win. Very well played.
Yeah, they did really good. Paradox was the safest person in the game that entire time. His build attributed to that. He had the Mercurial Scepter, the Phantom Dancer, and I mean, a pentakill. Like, that's the greatest so far. A pentakill. The first one of Champion to come through. And what better place to be on than the ADC where it belongs. But we're going to go into a quick 3-minute break. We're not going to take a long one. And then we'll get into game 2 of the series of Recon 5 versus Polar Ace. That was a terrible time for me to unmute everything. You just coughed right into the mic as soon as I did
Oh,
that. But welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting ready to get into Game 2 of Recon 5 versus Polar Ace. It looks like they're discussing side selection, but that's not until Game 3.
I don't know. I think they're just trolling right now. Okay, well, sorry about that cough. I was trying to get as much of my cough out of me before the game started. I saw like 16 seconds on the clock, and I forgot that it's like a 3-second, what was it, 3-4 second delay?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. So I looked at it, I was like, oh, we got 16 seconds. I'm just going to hack one up.
I mute everything, and then about 5 seconds before, 5 to 10 seconds, I'll unmute everything so I can get set up. But, oh well. Yeah. So, first game, Game 1. Recon 5, they took it by storm. Not necessarily just by utterly killing people, but they were able to take the proper objectives. You saw they were even in kills for the most part, but they had 3,000 more gold, they had 6 more towers, dragons, the whole shebang. Polar Ace, they didn't play bad though, in a lot of ways. You know, they didn't really play awful. I think they just got out-rotated in a lot of manners.
Yeah, you know, there was a couple points where it was really confusing on what Polar Ace was trying to decide on doing there. And we keep on saying this, but it just seems like Polar Ace needs to step it up when it comes to that mid to late game. Because you kind of saw in the early game, they can keep up with Recon 5. But at the same time, they have to keep up with that mid to late game and objective control, which Recon 5 is really good at.
Yeah, Recon 5, like I said, they had every dragon, they had all the turrets. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. What's happening? Are they swapping?
Yeah,
what are we doing?
They're confused on which side they're supposed to be on somehow.
Okay, well, it's an R5 supposed to be on blue because they were just on red.
Yeah, I don't know. These are the semi-pros. Come on now, these are the semi-professional players. I'm just a lowly caster, doing what I do best, I guess.
No, they can't. Oh, okay. Well, okay. Looking at, okay. Looking at the fact that Recon 5 is now on the blue side for sure. On the blue side.
Yes.
Tonzo could possibly pick up the Silas. I know it's something that Tonzo hasn't played very often, but Silas on the blue side is definitely something that is actually pretty strong. And mainly it's just because of how the champion looks and the way the abilities work. It honestly benefits you to have Silas on the blue side rather than the red side.
I mean, I'm not really a fan of Silas. Like we've seen many times in the Champions League, while he's done okay, and I don't really attribute him to losing any games in particular, I don't think he's really attributed to winning any games in particular either. I think he's just been kind of there. Yeah, I haven't seen anything amazing out of a Silas player yet. So my thoughts on that champion are just meh. Like so far, I haven't seen anything from him. I haven't seen anything good or bad necessarily. So he's kind of he's in that middle. So I mean, it could be a good pickup, but I don't see it being something that will win or lose anyone in the game so far.
Yeah, and right now with patch 9.7, he did actually get a little bit of a nerf. So with the common factor of we haven't seen Silas be very successful in the Champions League now being brought down by a nerf, lot less of a chance of seeing him very often. And, you know, it's just something that I thought could be possibly picked up. And I forgot about patch 9.7. I forgot about the nerf to Silas. So definitely something that many teams don't have to worry about because, like you said, players are not playing Silas very well. And he did just get a pretty big nerf to himself. And as we are waiting for, actually, I think we're ready.
About to be.
These guys ready? What are we doing here? All right. Well, just very quickly while this still figuring themselves out a little bit. We saw the nerf to Kale a little bit, so it will help, at least in the Champions League, to not have that Kale be such a dominant force where it's like if you don't control her at all, she just dominates the game. Because now with these nerfs, it makes her mid game not so great anymore. Because her mid game was decent, and then her late game was just dominant. Now it's you basically all you have left is that late game, that like super late game, and most of these games are not running that long.
Yeah, the average game time is about 30 minutes roughly. But we are going to get into picking bans now. As you see the picks from the last game on your screen, remember those wisely because we will not see them again. Julia is going to be the first one banned out by Recon 5. Let's see what Polaris decide to follow up with. They want to make... I was going to say, could we see the Caitlyn taken away maybe? Because Paradox dominated that game.
Yeah, you got to take away the Caitlyn probably, or even just take away the Morgana so that you can really take away from that combo. Because it feels like at the very moment, Caitlyn's one of those champs that she kind of needs the Morgana with her, but she also has been proven by Loki Dosi that if you know how to play her, it can be a definite ADC that's strong for their team. But with the way Paradox played it last game, I think it can be a strong pick even if Morgana does get banned. If Morgana doesn't get banned here, then R5 could look for it at the second part of their picks. But what do you think R5, because they have the first pick of the draft, what do you think they're going to go for with that first pick?
Honestly, it's questionable. Even if the Riven is left up, I don't see Tanzo just first picking it. He hasn't. It's been left up in the first round, but he hasn't picked it because there's a lot of ways to counter the Riven, right? So they could... I mean, I could definitely see the Morgana being the first pick if it's not banned. So it's gone now, so it looks like it's going to be gone. It is gone, so I mean...
well, there you go.
If they pick Riven right now, I'll be extremely surprised. Like I said, Tanzo, we've seen it left open once at least in the first phase, and Tanzo doesn't take it right away, knowing that that's really, really risky. But...
yeah.
Okay, Lucian. Lucian is a good one. Lucian seems to be a good first pick that a lot of teams like to take, knowing that it's a very safe. Wait a second. No. No
Wait
way.
a minute.
They're not gonna take his Riven against him, are they? Oh man. But anyway, Lucian's been a very strong first pick. We see it from a lot of teams. You know, there's not many matchups he loses hard to in the early game. So he's kind of like Kai'Sa was for a while, where you can just pick Kai'Sa without any worry of a counter pick. But Braum and Jarvan are going to be taken away. So the Braum, they're going to throw that combo out of the window.
Yeah, and Braum, definitely a good pick for them to take away because Lucian was the first one grabbed for R5. But now they could look for something more aggressive. Oh, and they do.
Pike. Lucian
the aggressive. Pike. Ooh. Okay. I can work with this. I can work with this. And something I have to say about Lucian is I watched the VODs from yesterday. I watched the game, a couple of the games live. Indigo on that Lucian was unstoppable. So I'm curious to see if Paradox can do the same.
Oh man, yeah, Indigo on the Lucian was nice. The best part was when your nurse tried to challenge him in the mid lane by baiting him with the back, and Indigo just accepted it, went in and just soloed him very easily, landing a perfect calling. Yeah, we're gonna see a Kindred come out for Recon 5. That's quite interesting. Ashe, we've seen a lot of Ashe played into the Lucian, and it's done very, very well.
Yeah, and especially with that Braum.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with when Ashe has the 4 stacks on and she's able to get kind of that rapid fire going. Lucian's really good because he could go in, burst you, and just kind of walk away without any punishment against a lot of champions because they don't do quite as much damage. But with Ashe having the slow on with her arrows, the volley, and then also you got a Braum on your hand, like she's able to kind of evenly trade into him. It's kind of like when you play into a Draven. the best thing to do is to be able to evenly trade into him because he's always going to try to be aggressive. But we're going to have Urgot taken away. The Orianna is going to be banned away by Recon 5. I mean, they have top and mid, or not, top and mid for Recon 5, as well as Polar Ace. There's the Riven going to be taken away.
Yeah, they want to make sure that they don't leave that open in the later end of this. And you know, with Recon 5 picking up the Lucian, the Kindred, and the Pyke, they really need to look for something that has kind of the front line for them. So I wouldn't be surprised if they decided to go for something like a Scion, maybe an Ornn. I have seen Tanzo play a little bit of the Ornn. Something else you could see in the top lane for them. Oh, not just necessarily the top lane, but because the jungle item for tanks got buffed, we could see Sejuani being grabbed by either side. Definitely Sejuani would be something to be strong with. You know, for a second there, I thought Polar Ace was going to go for that Sejuani. They would have the Braum, Ashe, and you could put Jarvan top, but they decided to actually go with Jarvan jungle and Aatrox up in the top lane, or maybe even the mid if they decide they want to flex that pick a little bit. But I think Aatrox is going to be that top laner for them, and I'm curious to see what Tanzo is going to look for. They do need a frontline tank for themselves, but at the same time, Tanzo is very known for those characters. Oh my god, okay.
Cannon for what? What is going on here? This is looking interesting. I mean, it could be Cannon mid, hopefully, maybe. But I mean, the one thing I noticed with the Recon 5's team is the Land Respite could definitely destroy all of Pyke.
What?
Well, think about it, because if they're in the Land Respite and he uses Death from Below, he's not going to execute him.
Oh, I was saying, what about the Ahri pick?
Oh, the Ahri pick. I thought you were talking about what I just said. What do you mean it doesn't? You disagreeing with me here? How could you? Like, I'm correct. Yo, the Ahri pick is kind of strange. Singed? Oh, that can't be true. That would mean Aatrox mid, Singed top? Dareth being looked at.
All right. They changed it on me again, man.
Oh,
Come
man.
on. That's a LeBlanc. It's not a Xerath. Come on. All right. That's
you need to give yourself like a 10-second gap between picks.
I know, man. I usually do. I start off doing pretty well, and then I like speed up, and I catch up to them, and I'm like 1 second behind, and then I don't have time. And then they change it to Xerath. I'm like, oh, cool. He's gonna pick Xerath. No, LeBlanc. What? Come on.
The Xerath pick, ladies and gentlemen, for Polar Ace is a LeBlanc. Not be confused by that. But that would be LeBlanc into the Ahri in the mid lane. I mean, I like Polar Ace's comp. I like it a lot. But if we're going based off what we've just seen and what we have seen, I have to give it to Recon 5. Even if their comp is a little questionable.
Yeah, you know, with the way Recon 5 team comp is looking, they are definitely kind of looking for that early game aggression. They have Kennen, who can do very well up against that Aatrox in the top lane. And then you have Ahri, who also can do very well against LeBlanc. It's just a lot of these early game and mid game matchups for Recon 5 definitely go in their favor. But you have to think that if Recon 5 doesn't play that early game like they want to, Polar Ace can definitely turn this game around very quickly. With you have Ashe and Braum in the bot lane. You have that slow. You have really good CC, and then you have like follow-up damage from Jarvan, and also you have the Aatrox ultimate to kind of become your main frontline source, while at the same time dealing a very large amount of damage. So I'm curious to see if Recon 5 is going to be able to pull off this early game with the composition that they have, or is Polar Ace going to be able to just kind of wait out the early game and just dominate the mid to late game with their composition?
Yeah, I don't even know if it goes in Polar Ace's favor in the late game. Honestly, with the Ahri on Sindillion and even the Kennen on Tanzo, with Moody on Kindred, they got a lot of late game potential for themselves. They have, you can't really just count out Lucian, although he's not looked at as a late game champion. It's really, it looks really odd to me for the side of Recon 5. It's very questionable what they're thinking, because they kind of got like a comp that is counterintuitive to itself, right? Donzo goes in, he throws down the Thunderstorm, and then Scrim wants to get the Death from below, but if Moody's low, he's going to throw the Lamps Spite down. If the rest of the enemy team goes in there, Death from below is useless. The stuns are useless. It's... I don't know. I mean, they're going to have to play this really, really well. But I'm going to give it to Recon 5 still, just because I think they're a better team. But if I go based on just comp, I'm looking at Polar Ace.
Yeah, honestly, I'm going to agree with you fully here, okay? Because we've seen Recon 5 and how they play. We've seen them in other tournaments. They're just the kind of team that would be able to pick up a series against Polar Ace. And when you look at the team comps, if you didn't have the teams, you would look at Polar Ace's team comp and be like, okay, that's a team comp that definitely could be pulled off very well and be able to go against that very aggressive team composition from Recon 5. So I'm with you that Recon 5 is definitely higher in priority here because of the better team itself, but Polar Ace has the better composition.
Yeah, definitely. But the spectator delay is done, ladies and gentlemen, so we're going to be getting into Game 2 of Polar Ace versus Recon 5. See if there's any changes, but Recon 5 is going to be on the blue side. Tanzo on that Ken in the top lane. Moody is going to be that Kindred in the jungle. Sendilian on that Glacial Augment. Ari in the mid lane. And Paradox and Scrim on the Lucian Pike in the bot side. But on the red side of the map is Polar Ace Academy with Juju on the Aatrox in the top lane. Bishan on that Jarvan in the jungle. We're see, hey, they're losers on that LeBlanc in the mid lane. Then we got Jack and Nihilism on the Ash Braum in the bot side.
All right, as we get one step closer into Game 2 of this series between Recon 5 and Polar Ace, you know, what are we looking at for this early game here? All right, so Gaiken, tell me, what do you think is going to happen in the early stages of this game?
What I think's gonna happen, or what I expect that should happen, because
well,
I expect Bashan on the Jarvan to play like a Jarvan should and put a lot of pressure at level 2, level 3 around the map into his lanes. That's what I expect. I mean, the bot lane's gonna be good to gank. The mid lane would even be pretty okay, as long as you could dodge the charm. But we haven't seen that from Jarvan players. We see them, yeah, we might see a level 2 gank. And that's usually about it, and then they farm to about level 5 or 6. So I'm hoping to see Bashan get real aggressive and try to use the kit that Jarvan is known to have in a very good and aggressive way, putting pressure in the lanes. Because I think that's how Polar Ace can win. If they could get the pressure in the lanes, because you saw Tanzo, he had so much pressure in that top lane against him that he seemed kind of flustered. He had an odd TP in the mid lane. He was like 2-4-2 at one point, so he wasn't doing too terribly bad, but he wasn't doing great either. So that's what I want to see out of Polar Ace. I want to see them apply the pressure where needed. Otherwise, I really don't see much happening. Maybe the bot lane would get a little aggressive for Recon 5 because you have a Lucian Pike. But like we've seen time and time again, not something I expected would be the outcome, is Ashe is trading really well into this Lucian.
Yeah, and you know, something that a lot of people tend to overlook is the Braum against the Pike. And I personally think Braum is one of those champs that can do pretty well against the Pike, because even if he gets pulled, he can jump back to his teammate. He has the shield to protect himself from any source of damage from the AD carry. And oh, Jarvan already going for a level 2 gank on the top lane here. Tanza did not have to flash out of that one, but still getting free. Pike does land a pull onto the Braum.
Oh, you gotta be careful. There's gust blows used. He's taking so much damage. See, that's what we see. We see a lot of that from Jarvan. No matter who's playing it, we see the level 2 gank, and that's usually where it stops.
Yeah,
Flashes for flashes. Grim looking for the pool. Not able to get it, though.
Yeah, and Recon 5 realized, you know what? The Jarvan's on the top side of the map. They're going to vertical jungle in this game. So now Moody is making his way over to the enemy blue buff, and Jarvan is at the enemy blue buff. But you kind of have to realize that in this bot lane, that now that Braum doesn't have the flash, Paradox and Scrim can be really aggressive here and not have to worry about too much going up against the Braum Ashe. unless the Jarvan makes his way down the bottom half of the map and tries to go for a gank or some sort. Because in a 3v3 situation, I think it's definitely favored in the... Oh,
man.
wait a minute.
Scrim being real careful. He throws the Ignite down on Nihilism, but Jack, he's trading back as much damage as Paradox is putting out. Questionable Ignite there.
You know, a little miscommunication maybe?
Scrim's just taking concussive blows like crazy. That's the second time he's been stunned up. He's going to get a pull though onto Jack, but that's about it. Nihilism's going to walk forward. He does the Winter's Bite down. But Paradox, look how much damage he's taking. The Ignite's going to go down to him, and he's going to have to heal. Flash forward from Jack, but he gets stunned up by Scrim. And, oh, disrespecting the damage there. This is what I mean. Like, you don't expect this, but here we go. We're going to see Nihilism get pulled back. Moody is here, and that's going to be first blood. Yes, it's going to go over. But now Sindelian, he's in a lot of trouble. He's ignited up. Bashan went to the mid lane. Haler loses looking for it. He does not have the damage.
Yeah, and that's flash for flash. Bashan using his flash for Sindelian's flash. Bot lane being able to pick up a kill for themselves. And Pyke did pick up that kill, but that's nothing to worry about because, you know, Pyke, when he hits 6, he'll be able to share the gold later on. Now Moody making his way over to the mid lane. Hey there, losers. Just going to back off a little bit. There's not much that's going to happen. Moody just kind of controlling the wave for his mid laner, making sure that none of that CS goes to waste. And looking at that bot lane fight, Active got really aggressive there, and they wanted to look for an engage because they were so confident after the amount of damage that they did to that Lucian. And so they wanted to look for a fight, but now Tanzo's looking for a fight himself up here in the top lane.
Yeah, but Bashan, he's back for action. He needs the flag and drag. Juju's getting really low. He can't really fight anymore. We see Tanzo, he's going to run away. He goes back into his creep. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Paradox, he's in a little bit of trouble. Get hit by the concussive blows, and he would have been stunned up. Takes a lot of damage there.
Yeah, and you know, that was a fair amount of damage from Tanzo there. He's able to keep a 10 CS lead right now against the Aatrox, and that's just your basic matchup.
Oh, Moody,
wait a minute.
He's found Bashan in the jungle at the Krugs. He's going to flag and drag away. Is it enough? It is. Moody's not able to get the kill, but here comes Juju. He's going to look for vengeance. Misses the chains, though. He flashes forward. He's looking for the fight, but Tanzo's here. He's going to flash to himself, and Juju's going to be taken down. Meanwhile, on the bot side river, we're going to see Active and Scrim kind of fighting over a ward here, but Sindelian has found, hey, they're losers, and he's rooted up. He's taking a lot of damage. Sindelian's going to have to get away. Moody is over the wall at the Krugs, and he's just going to back out.
Yeah, and R5 playing this aggressive game, looking better and better. Pyke does land a hook on the Active. Not much he can do there. No, nobody else to help him out, really. But very well played here by Recon 5 up on the top side of the map. They were Moody guessing where Bashan is going to be, and then goes for the possible kill. Bashan does get out alive, but then Juju, making his way over, tries to help out his teammate and gets himself killed in the process. And looking at Kindred's marks, how many... Let's see, can I see how many marks she has? She has 1 mark at the very moment. Okay. So Kindred right now is at 1 mark, and she does have the mark, I believe, on to Juju right now, so she may be looking for the top lane. Oh, wait. Hey, they're losers now with the chain.
Yeah, he dodges the charm. He's just getting a lot of damage. And look at Bashan right now. He's positioned himself in this bot lane yet again, looking to try to kill Paradox. I don't know. I don't really like this from him. We seen it last game too, where he just spends a lot of time here. But Active, he's in a bush, and the hook's gonna come out. He's gonna get pulled back. He's gonna stun up. The custom blows are down, but Jack doesn't have enough range. But here we go. Bashan's gonna flag and drag forward. He uses the chill and smite to slow him down. They need 1 concussive blow, and it might be enough. Forces the flash for Paradox, but Scrim, he could be in a little bit of trouble. He gets stunned up. Is it gonna be enough to get away? No, he does go invisible, but he's gonna look for the pullback. He doesn't have anyone else there. Kind of
yeah,
odd.
I gotta agree with you, Gaikin. You know, Bashan sitting himself down in the bot lane there. He did get the flash out of Paradox there, but he's wasting a lot of time trying to make these plays down on the bottom half of the map, and it's not really helping out his team, or at least it's not helping out Jack to be able to get the CS that he needs to go up against Paradox right now, because Paradox right now is at a huge CS advantage in this early game. And Moody as well, getting more of an advantage just because he's been able to CS, while Bashan is just sitting down in the bot lane doing nothing.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be so bad if he would go in and just gank right away, but we see him spending 20-30 seconds there waiting for a setup of sorts. We saw it last game too, where he sat in that bush. I mean, he was in that bush for at least 2 or 3 minutes, just waiting. So it's definitely hurting him and his team more than it's really helping. Now you see it now. He has a 20 CS deficit compared to Moody, and Moody is I mean, he hasn't put as much pressure around the map as him, but he doesn't really need to at this point.
Yeah, and bonus for Kindred there. The Mark did just go up on the Raptors, and Bashan is on the bottom half of the map. He's going over once again to try to look for another gank on the bot lane.
And he's not level 6 either, so he does not have the Cataclysm. Not that it's really effective against Paradox on the Lucian or Scrim with the Pike. So this is questionable, but look, Sindelian's in a little bit of trouble. Hey, they're losing. Gets the chain, dodges the charm though. He doesn't have Distortion up just yet, so he can't go back in.
Huh. This is a lot of time wasted here by Bashan. Once again, I'm confused on what they're trying to do here. I guess they're trying to get something for the Ashe, but...
Yep, Nihilism, he goes forward and stand behind me, gets a concussive, blows down, and the Ashe arrow comes out! Very odd. They're focused so hard on trying to kill Paradox and Scrim right now.
And they're not getting really any benefits out of it. They're losing CS, Jack is not able to get the experience that he needs, and Paradox and Scrim are just getting a huge advantage off of it, and now... Look at Moody. The man gets to counter jungle freely and get a huge advantage now top lane.
Yeah, it looks like Juju's going to pop the World Ender right away. It doesn't matter, though. He will get taken down. Yes, the World Ender is going to be popped, so they get a little bit of something, but Scrimmy actually uses the blast gun, goes over to the Dragon Pit, instantly dashes out, though. So, I mean, Polar Ace, they get themselves a win, Drake. Not the worst of things.
Ocean? Ocean or wind?
Ocean?
Ocean, okay.
Oh, this might be really bad for Scrim. He doesn't realize he's on another one. Flash forward, the Ghost Fist is going to come out. Now he has a Cataclysm, but we can see Scrim flash away. Flash forward by Bashan. He's going to heal up, though. It doesn't matter. He's getting stunned up. Bashan does get a kill. We see the calling come out. There's the Unbreakable. Winter's Bite is going to land, but no follow-up from there. Sindelian, though, he's making his way down. He has that Spirit Rush available. They pinged him out. They saw him behind the Dragon Pit. They're not able to get any more.
Yeah,
now, I'll say now Bashan going to the bot lane paid off.
It took a while. They got the Ocean and then they got the kill, but I still have to think that because of how much time was wasted there down in the bot lane, it just allows for Moody, that strong mid to late game champion on the Kindred, to be able to scale more and more. And he's been able to freely look for these stacks in the enemy jungle just because Bashan's been sitting bot. So now you have the mid to late game champion on the side of R5 scaling up more and more. Sindelian keeping himself at an even pace with the LeBlanc. Kennen does have a kill over Aatrox and a couple more CS. And then Paradox and Scrim just staying ahead completely right now. It's just a huge lead for Recon 5 right now over the entire map. And just because of these little small macro management that Polar Ace have been trying to do, that's not been working.
Yeah, look, Bashan, he came back down to the Tribush. I mean, he's backing now, but he didn't even need to come down. He could have just went straight back to base. Even if Paradox and Scrim stayed, he should have just went back to base.
Yeah, and you know, because Pike has these mobility boots, I'm kind of looking at it right now. He's being able to make his way around the map, and now that he has level 6, he also wants to look for ganks on the mid and possibly the top lane. Top lane's a little bit harder for him to look for, but definitely mid lane to clear out the vision and make sure that Sindelian is in a safe position against Bashan. But I don't know what to say for their decision making right now for Polar Ace.
Yeah, it's definitely questionable at some points. I mean, I'm glad that Bashan's being proactive on this Jarvan, trying to be aggressive, but he's being aggressive in the wrong area, I think. But it fights all across the map. We're going to see Scrim stunned up by the Gust of Blows. Jack's just going to press forward, does not use the arrow. Cautious on what he's doing here, but hey, the loser's going to go in. He gets hit by the charm, though, Sindelian. Nice play. He gets rooted up again. Yes, he's going to be stunned up. Is it going to be enough? The Ignite goes down. He's going to use a stopwatch. The head of the losers is not going to be able to get that solo kill.
Yeah, a little bit of skirmishes all across the entire map at the very moment. Sindelian being forced to get pushed out, and now Hater Losers is about half HP. Oh, he's going to flash for it.
Booty, he's looking for the kill. He's going to force the flash out of Hater Losers, though. It didn't even look like he flashed on my screen, or he flashed in place. But meanwhile, in the bot lane, we see Nihilism get pulled back. Paradox looking for the damage. The Ignite is down. Is it enough? Yes! No. The calling is out. Jack has to try to run away, but he does get stunned up by the arrow. Scrim looking for the death blow, and it's going to happen. But meanwhile, in the top side jungle, Moody gets taken down. The Cataclysm did come out. Hey, Luz is able to secure himself a kill. But now, bot lane, they were able to take the 2v2 fight.
Yeah, and that kill that Pyke was able to get, shared it with Paradox, giving themselves both an advantage here, and now being able to pick up these plates before 14 minutes happens. Bashan making his way back down. He doesn't have the Cataclysm hook.
Ooh, there,
just
missed
on the
it.
side.
Oh, he's able to get the kill! The electrocute was procced after using the smite. Beautifully played.
Oh my goodness. I didn't expect it, you know. I wasn't expecting that electrocute, and well, gets himself a kill on the scrim there, and looking back to the top side, Kindred kind of is getting herself further and further in the enemy jungle, trying to counter jungle as much as she can, and with knowing how much that Bashan was on the bot side, kind of expected him to be there once again, but then Bashan making the wise decision to keep himself on the top side there, to have the ability to go against Moody's counter jungling, and has paid off. Now a little bit of a skirmish in the mid lane. Hey there, loses, does miss the chain. Permanence, but it doesn't seem like Sindillion has much damage at the very moment because he has that glacial augment.
There's a fish going to come out. It does land. He has 2 concussive blows. Is it going to be enough to get 3? No. Sindillion's going to come over here. That's a big ultimate used.
Yeah, and
right now, Paradox.
there is a 4K gold lead here for Recon 5. Charm does miss in the mid lane. Pyke now making his way on over. And Moody is now able to pick up the Herald for themselves. Recon 5 once again showing their objective control and their strength to that. They did lose the dragon early on because Bashan was playing on the bottom half of the map for most of that early game. But still, with that turret pressure in the lane and also picking up the Herald for themselves, Recon 5 definitely showing off their macro play in the series. Bashan waiting in the mid lane brush, actually, and hook almost lands onto Braum.
Your rush is available for Sindillion, so even if he does get the Cataclysm, it's not going to keep him in place.
Yeah. And you know, now that they have pushed up the bot lane, they know Bashan is back because he was, I believe he moved in the into the lane and was spotted out by it, and now be able to pick up this dragon for themselves. Charm does land onto Hey there, losing a lot of damage back and forth.
Oh, he was looking for it. I could tell he wanted to go with the Spirit Rush and try to get the Ignite down. He could, though. He still can. Sean is caught out.
Moody just counter jungling as much as he can, denying Bashan so much CS. He's down 29, 28 CS at this very moment. And that's pretty big, especially when you're a jungler.
Yeah, that's huge. She's lost so much CS already. And it's just going to get worse. And he's looking for another gank in the mid lane. He was seen on that ward. And then able to get out. And Tanzo was just sitting up here all happy in his lane. Not being bothered anymore. He does go towards Juju, though. Misses one of his shurikens. Not able to get the stun off. We're going to see him actually does get the stun off. That the Ghost Blade is going to be used. Tanzo just bullying out Juju. A no resource champion versus a very fast regenerative. Gotta love it.
Yeah, and there's a pretty big or significant CS lead for Recon 5 right now.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty big, and you know, with the amount of control that they've gotten across the entire map, they've already gotten the first turret for themselves, and now they have the bot lane moving to mid. Oh my goodness!
Oh man, Hey the Losers gets the kill on the scrim. That was some unexpected damage.
I don't think he expected that kind of damage. He doesn't have any extra health for himself, but still, that was a lot of damage out. And you know what?
Juju,
LeBlanc being able to pick up that Luden's Echo. Yeah, and then
Bashan, he's topside though. He's gonna look for this. He has the Cataclysm. He does take the tower down, so Tanzo, he could go forward. The World Ender's going to be popped. He's looking for the stun. He's able to pop the World Ender really fast, though, but he's going to be caught in a very bad spot. Everyone's coming forward. He's going to use himself that stopwatch. It's not going to be enough. He gets taken down. Another kill is going to go over the Hey there Losers. 3-0-0 on this LeBlanc.
Yeah, and now because even though he got caught out, he was able to waste a little bit more time for his team to be able to have the arrow come down. And wow!
Oh, the charm misses by Sedillion. The arrow comes out, gets a one-man stun, but there's the Lamb's Spike. He's going to keep him alive for a moment. We can see Moody flash over the wall. And that's a Glacial Fissure being pulled out by Scrim. But that's going to be Juju getting a kill on the one. Scrim has to get out of there. He's going to fall. The calling is up, though. That's a lot of damage going out. Hey, their losers has to be careful as well as everyone else. Sindillion uses Spirit Rush forward. Not going to be enough to do anything there. And that's going to be 3 kills for the side of Polar Ace.
Yeah, and Polar Ace, Hey There loses being able to
Wait a minute, Hey There
a
loses
third
going
kill for
forward.
himself.
Sindillion flashes away. He does get the charm off. Nihilism uses Stand Behind Me with Unbreakable. Nothing else is happening, though. Hey There loses missing that chain. I think that would have secured him a kill.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier on. The team comp difference is huge, and oh my goodness.
Man. Paradox almost getting taken down.
Yeah, we talked about this. The team comp difference is definitely in the favor of Polar Ace, but because of how we know Recon 5 plays and the way their macro is, we thought that Recon 5 would be able to take this game a lot more than they are right now. But I gotta give it to Polar Ace with the way their comp is and how they're playing at this moment. In the middle of this game, towards the mid game, pretty decent for them, you know. Especially with Hey There losers now with 3-0-1.
Yeah, they are down. They are still down about 5,000 gold, 4,500 ish, roughly. So I mean, you can definitely see that Recon 5 still have the upper hand, even though they're getting picked off right now, so to speak. But Scrim, he's looking for something. Anyway, and a lot of that has to attribute to the towers and their CS leads. You got a 50 CS lead top, a 30 CS lead in the jungle, and a 50 CS lead in the bot lane. Looking at, I mean, if you just look at the gold, like Scrim right now, oh, it's not as bad as it was, but he has almost, he has about 1,000 gold lead. It was at 1,400 at one point. But you have a 2,000 gold lead on Paradox. You have a 1,600 gold lead on Tonzo, but Sindillion, he's caught out. It looks like, hey, the loser's taking tower shots. He's going to go forward. He's going to get Spirit Rush off. The Spirit Ball's not going to land, though. Forcing the flash out of the head of the losers. That was almost 1-for-1. The Ignite was up on him, too. He could have got that kill.
Yeah, I think we've seen that once before in the Champions League. Somebody decided that they wanted to hold on to their flash and then get that kill for themselves. And that would have been a 4-0 LeBlanc at 20 minutes. And in this tournament play, that is really strong for them. And right now, Polar Ace is playing this comp super well, and also being able to use that LeBlanc to their advantage is just keeping them at least in this game.
Yeah, this LeBlanc is going to be something Paradox has to watch out for. I mean, he'll blow everyone up. And Recon 5, they don't have a dedicated front line. So they're really going to have to be careful. I mean, Moody, if Moody gets sniped out real quick by Hey There losers, it's going to be over for their team fight for the most part. Because that Lambert Spite is a big part of it.
Yeah, and not having that front line could make it fall apart.
Ooh. Remember, Bashan, he goes in with a flag and drag. They're just waiting. Paradox, everyone. Wait, Hey There losers going over. He gets a 4-man distortion. That's a lot of damage coming out.
A 4-man distortion with the Luden's Echoes. Kind of nice.
This did quite a bit of damage. About a fifth of the HP bar of 3 members. He's going for it. He uses one, but he's charmed up. He could be in a lot of trouble. Spirit Rush forward. Now Tonzo's going in. He did use the Storm. We see that the GA is going to be popped up Bashan, and oh my lord, Hey There losers is really low. He could be taken down. Finally, Cataclysm is going to come out though, but the Lambert Spite is there. Hey There losers just waiting in there. Do they have their damage? No. Yes, maybe. Bashan is the last one to stand right now in the front line. Nihilism is going to come up through the river. He flashes forward looking for Moody, but he's not able to get Moody super low. Scrimmy does get Nihilism pulled back. He's looking for the stun. He's going to land it there, but Jack is making his way down as well as Paradox. Paradox has the buff. He's stunned up by the kills and blows, and Jack's able to get himself a kill as well. And it's 2v2 at the moment. It's going to be a 3 for 3. And that Lambert Spite, just like I said, that could, man, that thing worked against them. Hey There losers hanging on by a thread for so long.
Yeah, and you know, because they didn't have anybody who can get as far back as they wanted to onto Jack, Jack was able to just sit in the back line and deal the damage for his team. He did get stunned up by Tonzo's Storm, but he, at the same time, he doesn't have to worry about it too much because Active took most of that damage for him and for Hey There losers, because they have that kind of front line. And then Juju himself with the World Ender, he popped it, he did some good damage, some good crowd control. He did get CC'd by the Storm, but it didn't matter because he was able to revive himself. And then we just saw Bashan's Guardian Angel did go out, and the GA start for them honestly gave them a chance to last a little bit longer in that fight because Bashan did not get bursted down and then followed up with a Cataclysm, forcing everybody together and then following up with Moody's ultimate. That Guardian Angel definitely was something that changed that fight.
Yeah, the Guardian Angel was really good for Polar Ace. I mean, the Lambert Spite was really good for Polar Ace too. Like you said, hey, the losers held on by a thread, walked into Lambert Spite, kept himself alive, and then once it ended, if he didn't get any, but he attributed to 2 more kills because he was able to just get another distortion off of 3 to 4 members.
Yeah, and like you said, just right after that fight, and then early on in the draft, how
Arrow.
Moody's ultimate can actually completely screw over Scrim's ultimate, and Scrim now placing himself on the opposite end that he doesn't want to be, having to flash over into the Baron pit. They may look for another engage. Cannon is on the bot side of the map.
Oh, what a beautiful top by Sedillion, but hey, they're losing. Double distortion forward. The Glitch Fish is going to come out. Juju's making it in, but Tazo, he's in the middle. He's got the Thunderstorm out. He's looking for Jack, but they're going to look at the fight Juju. He has the World Ender pop. Jack is finally going to go down. Sedillion didn't be able to pick him up. Tazo, he used the Zonius. He's going to be stunned up, though, for a second, but they don't have much damage. Nice use of the stopwatch to stop that death from below. He does get out of the Cataclysm, but Paradox is able to get himself a kill. Bashan running away now. Hey, the loser's still really healthy. Oh, he needs one more! One more! This fruit, keep it alive for a second. Bashan, he's trying to get out of there. And the arrow comes through and is able to do enough damage even with the shield coming up. And that's going to be a 3 for 1. Or no, 3 for none in favor of Recon 5.
Yeah, now Recon 5 turning their attention towards this Baron. They have the cannon, you have Kindred, you have Lucian. You want to go for this Baron, you're going to be able to burst it down. Hey, they're losers on the opposite side. He is being spotted by the ward, but he could do a lot of damage for them. Slow onto the LeBlanc, jumps on over. Spike does land, but
he's going to be able to kill Sedillion! He stepped out, Larry Spike. Sedillion goes down. Hey, the losers ignite up. He might just fall for that. No! Scrim's trying to go forward to get the kill, but it's not going to happen. Moody, he's chasing down active Nihilism, though doesn't get hit by the Winter's Bite. So he won't be slowed. Paradox tried to dash over the wall, but it didn't work. And that looked like he almost stole that, is what it looked like.
Honestly, I thought, hey, their loser stole it for a second, but very well done by Moody there with that smite, being able to secure it for his team. Sedillion did step out of the Kindred ult. I thought they were going to be able to live that because of that Kindred ult, but then he stepped out. The Ignite burned him down. Hey, their losers picked up another kill for himself, and that is 4 members of Recon 5 having this Baron now and are able to take more control of this game and hopefully be able to pick up this next dragon, which is going to be a Windrake. And the Windrake can definitely be something good for Recon 5 and for Polar Ace, just because it allows them to get around the map a lot quicker, and that's definitely something you need going to the late game.
Yeah, the Windrake will help Tanzo too with that Thunderstorm, able to get onto Jack a lot easier. I mean, he does have the Proto Belt and his own little burst of speed with the Lightning Ball. Or if you want to talk in terms of Pokemon, the Volt Tackle.
Oh man, it's been a while since. Oh, nice charm, but it does get blocked by Brahm's shield. It's been a while since I've heard a Pokemon reference and kind of like it. So appreciate that. Clap in the chat for Gaiken, thank you. Volt Tackle. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Volt Tackle?
Yeah.
Volt Tackle.
I'm forced to. I'm not forced, but I play. My oldest daughter, she loves Pokemon, and I taught her how to play the Pokemon card game.
Well.
Now I gotta play that a lot, which I'm fine. It's fun. I mean, it's really fun. It's really easy too. So.
Can we get good dad in chat? Good dad? Good dad in chat, alright?
Wait a minute. They're
looking
for something. Their pings are coming out. Hey, they're just going to use the distortion to go back. And they're just going to push this bot lane as 5 is what it looks like.
Yeah, they have the 4 Baron advantage, and they're able to push these out. The Baron minions are a lot harder to kill. Hey, the losers trying to get some damage onto them at this very moment, but Kennan's actually sitting on the opposite side. He does have Flash, and his Flash, Zhonya's Proto Belt, and Ultimate up. There's a chance that he could look for something there, or maybe even move to the mid lane just to push out for himself. He does have Baron.
They have double cannon too. The
arrows
can come out. Nice. Use of the Spirit Rush dodges the Ghost Fish too, but the Cataclysm is going to come out. Paradox, he's stuck in the middle. This is really bad. Act is able to get killed by Scrim, and now Juju's going to go in. He has the World Ender pop. Now Moody's, look at the damage coming out. It's sustained. Tanzo's trying to make his way in. The World Ender is going to go down. Halo Losers is not even close to dying yet. The charm does miss, but Juju goes and fall. Tanzo, he's trying to get there. He flashes forward. He pops one. He's going to get jacked. The J is down for Bashan, and he's going to fall by the charm. That's a double kill going over to Moody, and Recon 5 take this fight 4-for-1.
Wow, very well played there from Recon 5. That disengage from them was very spot on. You had the Braum flashing on to them. You had Juju ulting with the World Ender, trying to interrupt something. The Ash arrow missing by a little bit of a margin. And
oh, hey, the Losers trying to get in there. Nice use of the Lamb's Respite. That's a fast R click right there if I've ever seen it.
Wow.
Instantly that Lamb's Respite came out.
Hey, you know, he's quick at the fingers.
But yeah, that was such a beautiful disengage. Sindelian dodging the arrow, dodging the Glacial Fissure. Paradox did get caught out though. He got hit by the Cataclysm, couldn't dash away or flash.
Yeah, and now I believe Baron is not up anymore for Recon 5. They did pick up two inhibitors. They picked up two inhibitors. And now they can make their way up to the top side of the map, take control of that, and they have the mountain, they have the ocean, so they can push out these objectives without a problem, sustain for a longer period of time because of that ocean, and then also make their way across the entire map because of the Winddrake. So definitely a benefit for Recon 5 here. And they're going to want to play around the top side of the map here, and Polar Ace has to answer something down there. They have to have Aatrox, they have to have Ashe, they have to maybe have the LeBlanc maybe in the mid lane to go against the super minions. As we all know, the AP damage champion does better against that. And now, lots of damage.
Oh my lord, Scrim's in a little bit of trouble. He does get the stun off, saves his life though. Halo Loser's going to throw a chain over the wall. Scrim getting super low, but he's already out.
Look at where Tanzo is. Look at where Tanzo is.
He's coming up behind Bashan. Bashan's trying to get in there, uses the flag drag to get out. Sindelian's still trying to push forward though as they take this top tower. They have supers crashing into the base now, so Polar Ace, they're in a really rough spot. They have to answer something. But the fight can still break out. The arrow is available. Glacial Fissure is up. Cataclysm is there. The second distortion. The ultimate for LeBlanc is about to be up. The Mimic. So everything is available for both teams. But like you said, the supers are crashing, so it gives Recon 5 plenty of room to just push in the top lane or look for a fight.
Ooh, another stack for Moody there, being able to give himself more range.
Looking for Bashan. And they're looking for the tower now. The fight has to happen. The Ash arrow goes in. Cataclysm fall. Glitch Fisher. Bashan's in the backside. He's looking for Scrims. He has to flash away, though. He's going to die. Tanzo, he's got a stun up, but he gets melted by Halo Loser. Sindelian's in the back line now. He's looking for more. Juju has that World Ender pop. Jack is pulled in, but is it going to be enough? They're not taking down. Lamb's Respite is finally popped up, though. And yes, the death from below gets one. It gets two. It's not able to get a third, though. Sindelian is still alive. Juju has to get out there. No, it's not going to be enough. Now Halo Loser's the only one back. Paradox, he flashes forward. He's looking for one more, and he's going to be able to get it. And that's going to be game 2 going to Recon 5.
Wow, the engage there from Polar Ace, the last thing that they were able to do, they get a nice Cataclysm with the follow-up from the Ash arrow, and then it was a really good engage by them. But this is the second team fight now that Recon 5 has been able to turn the fight around, step back, realize what they need to look for, and they're able to execute it. And then we just see the beautiful counter engage. Scrim being able to pick up 2 kills for himself with the ult, and then follow up with Lucian flashing on to Hey There Losers and end the game. Very well played, very fun series, and GG Recon 5.
Yeah, Recon 5 definitely showed up today. They got a nice clean 2-0, and while it didn't seem like it was going to be that way, Polar Ace was able to pick a lot of good team fights, and even in that second game, Hey There Losers was able to just melt people. You saw Scrim pretty much get taken down. If he didn't get that stun off, I'm pretty sure he would have died. But the one thing that Recon 5 did much better is their objective control. Their rotations around the map and the way they handled it. Even with their odd comp, very odd comp, they were able to pull it off very well. They maybe a little sloppy. They could have done some things a little bit better, but I mean, in the end, they won, and really that's all that matters right now. And The only other thing, the one thing that could matter outside of that is when they go up against Fruition Premier, they're going to need to play a little bit cleaner than that. Otherwise, they're not going to be allowed to make those mistakes.
Yeah, Recon 5, they are looking good, but like you just said, they need to step up to the A game, which is Fruition Premier. And I can't wait for that matchup. And I kind of want to see what else Polar Ace can do, because they did show in that first match that they have a chance to be one of the top teams. In the game 2, it looked okay for them in the early game, and then late game just kind of was a stomp for Recon 5. But I feel like with the way Polar Ace is, they still have a chance to be one of those top teams.
Yeah, Polar Ace, like they didn't play too terribly. I mean, the bot lane went really well for them in the first game. I think Jack and Nihilism did very well into Paradox Grim on the Caitlyn Morgana. I think they did fine down there. One of the things I do want to see from Polar Ace kind of clean up is Bashan not focusing so hard on the bot lane, wasting a lot of time trying to go down there. And like I said before, it'd be fine if he went in and went for the gank and then left, but he would sit there for 20, 30 seconds in that second game we saw, and then we saw him sit in the bush on the Skarner for, I mean, it had to be at least 2 to 3 minutes. He was there for a long time.
Yeah, and just in the end, very well played by Recon 5 there.
That is it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming out on this off day. Hopefully we don't have too many of these. Definitely screws up my ebb and flow. But thank you everyone for coming out and watching this matchup between Recon 5 and Polar Ace Academy. We will see you guys Monday. Have a good night. That is it.